My name is Wayne Miner. I'm a case manager here at Catholic Charities, and I'm working on my 5th year as a volunteer here in the Jobs Department. My typical day here in the Hannafin Employment Center, I come in, I look at my schedule, I see how many clients I might have lined up for the day. If it's an existing client, somebody who's been here before, I will pull the file, review the file just to make sure I know exactly what status we're in right now and working with the client. If it's a new client coming in, then I'll get the packet out, the paperwork that has to be filled out by the new client. And when that client comes in, we give them the packet to fill out. Eventually, all that information has to be transferred from the packet, the intake sheets, and put in our database system, the HMIS system, the Homeless Management Information System. I have the responsibility for getting that in. When the client comes in, we sit down with the client. If it's a new client, we talk to the new client to get a background feel for what his experience is, education, what has contributed to his homelessness if he is homeless, and find out as much as we can about the candidate. So that we can decide which is the best route to follow, what resources we have that we can avail ourselves of to help this particular client in his or her situation. Pretty much, if it's a new client, again, we interview the client, find out what his background experience, education is, and then we get into our resources, find out what possibilities we might have that we can share with him that he or she can arrange for an interview. We'll provide the resources, but I pretty much leave it up to the client to contact the employer to arrange the interview. And then pretty much, we conclude our session, and I'll do a write-up so that I can track it and follow it and make sure I cover all my bases and try to help, again, the client. And pretty much that's it. Well, when I really heard about, all I heard in my years in Colorado Springs, you hear about the Marion House Soup Kitchen, but now we call it the kitchen. We've dropped soup for various reasons, but I never realized all the services that Catholic Charities here does provide. Once I came on board and started volunteering, I learned about the family center that we have that takes care of families and children. We have a unit down at the Helen Hunt School campus area down there. I didn't realize what all we had in the way of medical services, mental health services that we can provide to our clients if they need it. Also, we help people with rent assistance. We help them with financial aid if we can. If they need car repairs, we might be able to help them with that. We help them get IDs. We help get birth certificates. We can help them get Social Security, replacement cards, things of that type. But I just never realized what all kinds of services that Catholic Charities really does provide. Again, housing, the employment center, of course, where I am right now. We have the pantry, which is fairly new. We've opened that up to the community. Marketplace, as we call it, but it is a pantry for those in need. So it's pretty much what I consider sort of a global approach in helping a client with a lot of different needs that I never knew existed until I came on board here. Also, I forgot to mention, I think it's important to mention, we offer our English as a second language course for the community. So we're in immigration services, we help with that over in the diocese building. So we really do an awful lot, again, that I just was not aware of in providing services to the community. Well, that's an interesting question. I guess there are a lot of favorite moments, but what pleases me, of course, is when somebody gets a job. Particularly a hard-to-place client, somebody who may have addiction problems or mental health problems or doesn't have much of a work background. And I can, sort of ballpark some, what I call, proudful successes. But I think, again, the satisfaction I really get is when somebody does get a job, but particularly a hard-to-place person. And I'm not saying that I can place everybody or that I've had a 100% success rate, but I feel pretty good about what we've accomplished here so far. I think, first of all, I would ask that person, I've asked myself, what is your motivation to take a volunteer role here? I think you've got to have a belief in yourself, a belief in that you really want to provide a service, help the community, give back to the community. I think that's very important. It's not just the kind of thing, well, what do I do now? I think I'll just go volunteer. No, I really think there's got to be a feeling, a passion behind that, a real desire to give back to the community and to, again, provide a service for somebody who's really in need. I also think that you've got to commit to it. You have to commit time to it. You've got to feel comfortable that you do have the time to commit to it. If you commit to a shift, I'm not saying you have to be here every shift. Obviously, things come up. But when you do commit to a volunteer shift here at Catholic Charities, hopefully you can. It's very important that you do show up because they count on you, and you just don't want to leave any gap or not being able to get here. So you really have to take a look at your time commitments, that you really can be here most of the time. And I think the last part is you've got to really feel comfortable in the volunteer position that you might accept here. One thing that's nice here about Catholic Charities, if you want to try something on a volunteer basis, try out a specific assignment, that's fine. If you feel that's not working for you, you don't have to stay in it. They will try to find something else to really fit more your comfort level, something like that. So I think that's great. So I think the Catholic Charities will do everything they can to really help you, put you in the right place, and support you all the way through as you support the clients.